Hello and welcome everyone for joining us here live Tuesday night, the last night of October, 2022. And I'm Valorie Renee. I'm here with Shawn Sykora joining me in our What's Up Today astrology cast and energy cast. So welcome, Shawn.
Hi, welcome, Valerie. Yay. And it's hopefully it's not the last night of October, it's the last Tuesday night of October, right? Is that
Oh,
what you meant? Yeah.
did I leave a word out? Yes,
Or
last
I didn't hear
Tuesday
something.
night.
Yeah.
Because we're heading into Halloween. Gotta have Halloween.
Yes.
So, Shawn,
Oh
my
no.
burning question for you.
Oh no. Okay.
Um, do you have a favorite planet?
Um, no, I like all the planets. They're all unique and they all have different parts to them. And that's really making me happy. I keep mentioning the younger astrologers. We have all the signs, all the planets in our chart. We have to work with them just because our sun, the sun is a star and it's our major point. We're born on the earth, which is the opposite sign, and we grow into our sign. And it's kind of the major point of our life path of learning is learning how to be that sun sign, which is maybe the most important, but there's so many factors involved. But yeah, I mean, I guess some people have a favorite planet or something, but I'm always looking at them all and trying to figure out how they work together and how to find a combination to be positive and keep hopefully moving forward, unless it's a Mercury retrograde and then reviewing. But
Right.
but yeah, there's a lot to them. They're all glyphs that it's like each one is a novel. There's so much, and depending on what you study, it's infinite. I mean, that just a few symbols represent everything in life, or at least that's how we try to approach it. So, yeah, I don't think I'd be a good astrologer if I said, "Oh, I like this planet," or like we shared before, your favorite sign or favorite whatever. Especially when you begin, you're like, "Oh, I like this better," and then you learn about it, like, "Oh, I don't like that so much," or "I like that person's chart," and then you read about their life and really study them. You're like, "Oh, they have to do this." We match our chart. We are our chart, as above, so below. It's just a style, and we just have to become familiar with it and not be status quo, but be yourself. And that's why I like astrology, empowering people by it's like it is okay because I'm good at this, not that. I mean, that's the chart says you have these strengths. You can work on weaknesses, but strength, whatever favorites. And some people are like that. I love this. It's like I like chocolate ice cream much better than vanilla. It's like okay.
Well,
Yes.
thank you. So we just came through the Scorpio eclipse and we are in
Ugh.
the new moon.
Yes. Yes, that was it affected both of us personally. We have planets there. It was at 2 degrees. And I was gonna do a little chartage here and just trying to gotta get quicker. So we see this okay. This is a kind of a legend I made up. Again, I want to give credit to Dan Curry, graphic artist, a graphic designer that I know who's an astrologer, and he's great. And we worked together on this. And you can start with the numbers. Here's how we number the houses. And then all these symbols are aspects. We don't have to really get in that. And here's all the planets. And I was just giving a lesson to someone. One way to memorize the planets if you're new, or maybe you haven't seen this if you're advanced. The moon's on the left here, and the sun's on the right. Here, I have my little. Does this help? So, and then Mercury's on either side of the sun and moon, and then Venus is on either side of that. Mars is on either side of that. Then Jupiter, then Saturn. So we had an eclipse in Scorpio, which I'll show you the chart in a moment. But the opposite sign, it's always tied in. The moon's nodes are on, there's a north and south equally distant, 180 degrees. So Venus rules Taurus. So we had an eclipse at 2 Scorpio, but Venus was at 2 Scorpio as well. So let's go to that chart if I have it. Oh, yeah, there we go. Maybe I have a bigger one. Oops. There. Is that full screen big enough? Anyways, so here it's also, at least this is for where I'm at in Northern California or Central Bay Area. Anyways, so they're at 2 and they're in the Taurus house. If we look back at that that cool thing. See, the Taurus and Venus, that's its natural home and its natural ruler. It's also Libra here. It repeats. But anyways, when we go here, we could see it's in its house, but it's 239 and the eclipse is at 20 or 201 or something like that. So it's almost like the ruler of Taurus, the opposite. Here's the nodes were at 13. The ruler of Taurus on the opposite side is conjunct this eclipse, so it's very strong. You know, everyone's like, oh, it's partial, it's not so strong, because the distance between the sun and moon and the nodes reflects the strength. If they're the same number, it's like a perfect eclipse. It'll be very long and it'll have those really pretty, you know, what do they call it when the sunlight comes around the moon or the moon, you know,
Oh,
anyways, the more flaming, I forget the name, but anyways, so this one's partial, and hopefully we'll get to the next ones coming up and I'll do like a dry interpretation. But this one was so strong because of that reason. The Venus is right there sandwiched between the nodes and the sun and moon. And also we had the old style benefics are Venus and Jupiter, the more luckier planets. In the old days, it was really easy to die. You know, they didn't even know how to wash out their wounds. If you got a cut, you could die. And it was really easy to die. Most people didn't live that long, didn't live past the Saturn return. Now it's like I'm lucky enough, I've gone past 2 Saturn returns. So you learn more stuff and hopefully share and teach people so we learn faster. But anyways, so also Mars is stationing. It's just got up to 25 and it's retrograding at 25, or it will on the 30th, coming up Halloween or Halloween Eve or whatever. But and then Saturn just went direct. It was stationing at 18. So both the malefics, the old style, you know, negative or really tough, were both frozen and connect, you know, they weren't moving. So it was an extra emphasis. That can be very important when planets aren't moving much and they're starting or finishing a retrograde. And there was other stuff. Anyways, so those are a couple of things. Um, so we actually had an earthquake today. You know, it was a 5, and just personal stuff. I had lots of all kinds of very busy. I'm surprised, or I'm not surprised if lots of people were very busy, lots of changes. And again, the positive is, you know, the eclipse takes things away, but it opens up space for new things. You know, when you know, the gentlest way I like to explain is the closet. You know, your closet stuff, you throw everything out, you sort it, Goodwill, sell it, give it back to whoever lent it to you, and or whatever, or like I need a new one, or I need to fix this, or get rid of it, or, you know, clear it out, and then it's all clean or almost empty maybe, or organized so you can see everything. And then within days or weeks, it'll just fill in again. So, you know, that the physics law that abhors a vacuum. But that's kind of what eclipses do. The Pluto, the Phoenix, the Scorpio energies, they're all very similar. So it's part of change, and that, you know, nobody likes change. You figure out something, it's like, can we keep this way? And then sooner or later, you know, what does the USB port look like now? You know, anyways, that's one example. It's like, I got it down. I got all these USB hubs now, and it's like, oh, this is all obsolete. So anyways, so that's kind of the thing, is to go roll with it, and things come up. You know, it's much like the Reiki you do, where I always said, you know, my joke was like, it feels really good, but then all the dirt and all the issues that cause all this pain or whatever stuff, it's all about examining your life and changing and modifying and do what you can to keep growing. So the things that come up, maybe not in the moment, maybe you can make a decision in a moment, but over time, it's like the things that really bugged you or things that surfaced, it really 2 weeks either side, people will say, and up to 6 months lingering. It's like, what buttons are being pushed, or what issues are really persistent that you have to try to make some kind of adjustment, or even plan or think about it, do some kind of action that's proactive. Um, so that's kind of the thing on the eclipse.
so
Any questions or answers?
I don't have questions,
Okay.
but I just had come to
Valorie.
mind
Yes.
something you shared with me before. And if we exit the screen,
Right. Oh, sure. Sorry, I'm looking for another. I didn't have the other chart. Am I exited? Are we back to
oh,
Valorie?
yep,
Yes.
we're back to us.
Okay.
So eclipses bring change, which can mean endings, which
Right.
then means beginnings on the other side. We have both. And
Right.
you have a couple times shared with me a lovely little exercise. So I want us to do it
Oh,
now.
good.
Yes. So I'm actually bringing a technique that you brought to my world, which is a nice one. So if there's anywhere that you're feeling a little resistance with energy movement that happened the last few days, or in the week 2 weeks leading up to the eclipse, or in the coming 2 weeks, if you're having a challenge with the change, this is a lovely little thing Shawn showed me. I'll add the breathing to it because
Oh, cool.
I always like to add breathing, because we definitely, I know, our power was out. It was a scheduled outage today, but it went on and on and on, and it didn't end at the time that it was scheduled to end. It ended in time for us tonight, which is good. But those times, there were times during the day I felt my body, and I was like, whoa, wait, I'm shallow breathing. It's anxious, and so I took that deep breath into the body, because that deep breath is what helps us flow with energy movement. So let's just take a breath into the heart, breathing in, filling our heart, releasing it gently, and breathing in again. This time, expand the chest cavity and then breathe into the abdomen. And release it. And then as you breathe in your third breath, fill your body. Kind of tune into the thing you're having a hard time with letting go or releasing. Breathe in, expand, bring that to mind, and then you're going to bring your hands together in a solid clap as you exhale. Handshake. Do we need to do it again?
Always.
Okay.
Rinse,
All right.
repeat, right?
All right. Right. Wash, rinse, repeat. All right. So breathing in fully, heart, abdomen, and as much breath as you hold. Bring into mind what it is you're working to release, and bring the hands together with a clap as you exhale and release.
Got to work
Third
on my
time for good
clapping.
measure, and let's do just a quick breath this time.
Okay.
Breathe in, expand, bring to mind the release, and clap and exhale.
That was better.
And just shake it off. All right. Thank you. How do you feel, Shawn?
Good. Tingly in a good way for once instead of best.
And you can do that anytime with
Yeah.
anything. It doesn't have to be linked to an eclipse. I forget, at one time you shared it with me. I don't remember if it was over a decision or what it was over, but you're like,
Oh,
because Scorpio and control, whatever, and you're like, just breathe and let it go.
yeah.
Release.
Yeah. Or if you want
Clap.
to, yeah, that's a good one. Clapping. That's a feng shui thing. They'll clap just to reset the energy, or they'll hit a chime or a gong or something. And another one is like pick up, if anybody uses pens anymore instead of their thumbs, but it's like pick it up and say, I forgive, I love, I forgive, I release, and you drop it. Just to practice. You don't have to let go of everything, but if there is something you want to let go of, know you have that skill, and it's a good practice. But the clapping, yeah, I hadn't thought about that in a
Actually,
while.
well, now that you said that, that's what you had me do. You
Yeah.
said pick up something
And
and
just,
drop it and just let it go. Pick it up,
yeah,
drop it, and let it go. It's
yeah,
good practice for you to
yeah,
let go. That's what it was. So I guess
yeah,
I added the clap.
yeah. It's all good. It all
That
works. Yeah. Again, like the astrology, it's to me, a good astrologer, you can point out one thing, and some things are very strong, but it's really a group effort. Again, it's like you're baking a pie or a cake or making your favorite meal, whatever. It's like each time you do it, everything's different, and you get a little more pepper, salt, tastes a little better, not as good as the last time you remember it, or and it's these basic food ingredients that people use around the world, but you're using your own combination. and then your chart's just like that. And then as time changes, you're not the same person. You have more experience, or different things are influencing you, or you're focused. Like when you're focused on your car, you see the same car everywhere. Or like I'm seeing old men with bellies like walking in and out of the hospital where I'm having treatment done. It's like, oh man, it's like, oh, there's my people, there's my car, whatever. So it's like we're all the same going through stuff. It's more unique and we're focused in a certain way, and that's good to focus. But if we're feeling
Right.
stuck, yeah, a good clap, or releasing something, or that was the shaman taught me that. I love, I forgive, I release, and you write down on paper, and some people call it a God box and they'll bury it or just tuck it away, or some people literally burn it and let it float away. And you've done meditations
Hmm.
where you think of, was it pink light? You make a bubble and you put it in and you let it float away or something like that. Or you'll have to, do that. I can't remember what you did, but
Right.
yeah.
So many
So
different
that's
things.
yeah. So
The
it's really good for eclipse season. We're always like, this show, we're mixing, your energy, Reiki, and other work with my I'm more Virgo accounting, analytical, astrology stuff. But it's all linked, and whatever works for you.
It is all linked. And the breath actually is another, not just the breath, but the voice, I mean, bringing in the voice with the
Mm,
exhale. So it's whether you're combining it with the clap, or whether
right,
you just ha,
right.
it, find your own way with it. When, everyone, we have different things that work for us. And so,
Yeah.
with these different, if you're hearing something, you like it, try it, combine it, take out the part that doesn't. These are just ideas to help with clearing and releasing energy. But getting the vocal cords vibrating is really good. Ha.
Yeah.
And
Red leather, yellow leather, right?
and it can be, you can go high, you can bring it high, or you can bring it down
Right,
low. But bring play in, because that is also such a huge energy. The
right.
play, the lightness, the laughter, it helps us with clearing, releasing. So Shawn, what else
Excellent.
do you have
Yes.
for us?
What else? Oh, screen sharing. Let's see how fast I can do it. Ta-da. Is that big enough? Is that full screen? That's the next eclipse. And another thing that's going on is the politics. Britain's like trying to head towards a new prime minister. This eclipse, there's a second eclipse. There's always two, sometimes three eclipses every 6 months because they're activated by the nodes. Oh, let's see. Here's my. So like this is November 8th, which is election day in the US. Oh boy. And we talked about Mars is in Gemini. It'll see it's retrograde now. There's a little RX there. So we're going to repeat and hear the same kind of stuff. And yeah, the good side of Gemini, it's basic education and lighthearted. But the bad side is like there's two sides to the story, or there's all this data and they could twist it and have it not too truthful, or emphasizing one aspect where you're leaving out things with the other aspect. Whoa, that was cool.
Oh, there. It
Is
can
that
be a
even
little
bigger?
bigger.
Yeah, how's that?
There we go.
Is that about full? Okay, it cuts off some on the bottom for me, but for you guys. Anyways, so this one, the last one was at 2, and now the moon, it's a full moon, it's opposite. So from our perspective, we're Earth, we're kind of in the middle, and it's a full moon is when the moon's on the opposite side of the sun, and we're kind of in the middle. So that's why at high noon, we have the sun, but at high midnight, the full moon, it's like the moon will be right overhead at midnight. And this is also a physical representation. So this is like sunrise, above the horizon, sunrise 6 a.m., give or take, and then sunset 6 p.m., give or take. And this is high noon, and this is midnight. So this one, for where I'm at, it's going to be during the day. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't think we could see that. It's going to be somewhere else. But anyways, this, so indicating the strength again. See the node here is at 1323, and this is at 16, so it's less than 3 degrees apart. That's why it's um I believe they're calling it a total eclipse. There's a lot of different names. Basically, within 5 degrees, it's very strong. And total, it has to do with the declination, how much they line up, how perfectly. But that's pretty close. And then again, we have all these planets in Scorpio because it's that time of year and the sun's there, but Venus is still close. See, it's only 4 degrees away from that next point because they're traveling together really closely. And now Mercury is only a degree off, and there's a south node going over there. So, and then Uranus is now backed up. It's 1656. It just went into 16 degrees by a couple 4 minutes. So see how everything's clustered. So it's very complex. And then I can't see here, but Saturn is down here at 26, I think. Yeah.
Mm,
If I
looks like
shrink it. Oh, no,
26.
it's Pluto. I'm sorry. That's Capricorn. Oh, Saturn's over
Oh,
here at 18. So we have a good old T square. And in astrology, that's a very strong sign. Sometimes you have a grand cross, but if you have a T square, the open end, Saturn and his T will project into here. So that'll be on Leo. And what do we have in the news now? The leaders of Britain and I got to dig up their chart. I think it's Taurus, but anyways, there's a lot of Leo energy. That's how all this T square is manifesting. And Leo's the leader and limelight. So there's a lot of action going on with Leo with this T square. It's so intense, very close eclipse, like again, under 3 degrees. And with the Saturn T'ing it at 18, the Venus is up to 20, 13 in between there. That's 7, 3.5. So that's like 14 and like 17. Yeah. So that's almost the midpoint there. Very, very close. The orbs and the spread of the degrees are very close. So that's why we look into Leo, where it goes in your chart where this next eclipse is going to empty out to. And the last one was at 2 degrees. This one's at 16. So again, you look at your chart and see where you have fixed 16s, but it's really from 13 to 20, and you can even give it a little more. So it's a pretty wide swath, right in the teen degrees, basically the middle, 10 to 20 degrees. So that's basically what I would look for. The 25, I was going to kind of put myself on the spot and look into this because I haven't studied it too much. It's 1 degree cardinal, so that's initiating, but it's an opposition. Again, that focuses on the Venus. And again, Venus is part of this eclipse. So it's like the old ways of communicating and relationships, they're going to be break-offs, and but room for new. Again, to be positive is like things drop away, you do release stuff once in a while and new things can come in. So it's going to be very interesting shuffling. And that is election day in the US. And it's only midterms, which is important because that's, the president's been in for two years now, roughly. And by the time they swear him in January, it'll be 2 years. But anyways, it kind of, it's an indicator of the power that he'll have. It's like, is he really accepted? Are people swinging more to that way? Or are they swinging back? Usually it swings back because we never like what's going on. It's like, no, change it. It's like, where it's interesting in Britain, they're like, should we go back to the old guy or should we go to whoever? Or, how much should we change or how much should we go back to the old way? That's another, like Ben Franklin talked about, a Capricorn, but it's a very Aquarian type person is, it's like, he said, like, make modifications to improve, don't just wreck the whole thing and start
mm,
fresh. Sometimes you have to, but it's if you keep making the Capricorns by steps, if you try to examine things and try incremental things of new iterations and trying to make it a little bit better and see it, because the pendulum swings. You don't want to make a big change, or like when you're working on your computer, you don't want to change everything and make big settings. You want to change one thing and see how it works, or a couple things. It's a control
exactly.
change because everything affects everything. It's like, if I do this, what can sway the other way? Like right now, like the economy of the world or America, it's all like, are we going to have inflation, deflation? Is jobs, is it working? And the whole world, we're in this change of automation, making automated workforce, robots and software and all the physical labor jobs. Many of them are gone. So it's like, how do we keep a healthy economy? So
Yeah, and it's interesting. There was I heard when I was going to pick up my son from school, an interesting interview on NPR, and they were just talking about the economy of the world and of different countries and inflation and in I don't remember the details, but it really was interesting how interconnected, because we forget that we are so interconnected. And
that's another new
it,
factor.
it
Yeah.
comes to not
The,
just, oh, this country's economy and this one are suffering. It moves to the whole world economy. Um,
Right.
oh yes, thank you. So this came while I was listening to you. Um, so when we release, it's another really cool thing that just popped in my head when I saw you release
Mhm.
is then we flip them over and then we open.
Oh, for yeah, being receptive and open as
So we,
opposed instead
as
of
we release, then we flip
yeah.
the hands upright and
Nice.
and open to receive.
Can I use that? Can I add that to my thing?
You can add it absolutely because I mean part of that opening is I mean we open to higher guidance, we open to our soul connection, we open to
Right.
the energy coming in to support us. Not necessarily that we're opening to receive, you know,
Yeah.
a
And when
particular
you're
object, but
right.
beyond we
And when
open.
you're releasing, you could be giving to people too. Like if it's coming above to catch, someone else is catching what you're releasing. And again,
Yeah.
like I was talking about the closet, it's like some things, the clutter book, so there's different categories like, oh, I borrowed this, I have to give it back to him, or this is broken, I should fix it, or donate it to someone who wants to fix it, or just throw it out, or whatever. It's like, oh, I was missing that, I don't have to buy that anymore. Or Americans, we have too much crap anyways.
Yes. And then, so this is going to sound really silly, Shawn, but I cannot believe that my brain did not remember in the chart when you pointed out the
Yeah.
beginning.
Do you want me to show it again, or
Sure.
which chart, the eclipse
The,
chart, or the
any chart,
legend? Any chart.
whichever one you want to bring up to it,
Well,
bring
let's
out.
go back to the one that just happened that
Okay, that's
uh,
good right there.
yeah.
So when you go over to the left,
Yeah, the left hemisphere, yeah.
and yes, the start point, the
The
ascending.
ascendant, yes.
Yes, that
Yes.
is sunrise. And then you go up to the top, and the top is noon.
Yes.
The right is sunset.
Yeah, because
Nine,
this is the horizon. This is
3 o'clock. If
yeah,
it was a
six.
clock.
It's like 6, 6 and 12, 12. Yeah. High
Yes,
noon.
and
And
midnight.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
said that in a way that I heard that, and it's locked in now forever.
Oh, good.
Because if I knew it, I forgot it.
Yeah. Well, it's a language. And like right now I have this really smart student and she's doing great, but she's like, I can't get it. It's like, it's a language. You just keep practicing it. And, most good astrology teachers, like, just keep asking the questions, even if it comes up again and you didn't remember it. It's like going to, you're going to another country, or you're in your same country, but you're learning this language. You just have to keep repeating it. And after a while, I had a flashback. She's like, I can't remember the signs, or who's the rulership. And I'm like, I showed her a little trick, like I sewed the planets, but I remember yelling at myself because it's like, what is the name of this glyph? What sign is this? The first, it's only 12 things. And, I've been looking at the glyphs in astrology since I was a kid. It's like you see it in the paper or whatever, but it's like anything, you just keep trying. The persistence usually wins. That's the good Capricorn, the stepping stones, and you learn something and it connects to something else. And then the Pisces, the third sign, from whatever you think of, from Aries to Gemini, is 3 signs of Gemini's thinking. And that's why Aries are really fast, because Gemini is so mutable, it doesn't get stuck. Where like the Capricorn, the third sign is Pisces, so they kind of see the whole picture, but they know it's Earth, and they need to do concrete blocks and stepping stones, and build on that. So anyways, yeah, that's this circle, this mandala, there's so much in here, and that's one of the basic things you can ballpark. Like, I know, so if this is 6 a.m., this is 4 a.m., and this is 2 a.m., this is midnight, right? Midnight. Every section is like 2 hours. Like a military clock has 24 hours, there's
Mhm.
24 divisions. So this is really more of a military. Um, so this is midnight, 2 a.m., 4 a.m. So the sun's in here. So the chart should say roughly between 2 and 4 a.m. So I look up here and it says 3:48 a.m. So that's how you kind of extrapolate or know that your data in the chart are matching pretty close. It's like, okay, the sun's over here. And then Venus and Mercury are always close to the sun. Mercury can only be one sign on either side. And Venus can only be less than 2 whole signs on either side, like 47 degrees or something. And Mercury's 27, I think, something like that. And anyways, and they go back and forth retrogrades, but they're always going to be close if it's a normal chart. There are other charts that move things, but your basic thing. So yeah, that's the horizon. They used to have astrologers' assistants called astronomers, where they didn't tell the astrologers they were wrong. They worked for them, and they would look up on the roof and look for the sunrise and try to see the last star of the constellation to figure out what that horizon was for that chart, calculate it.
Wow.
And the full moon's always right overhead. It's a full moon when it's right overhead at your local midnight time. And the high noon, I'm sorry, I'm pointing at the high noon. That's when the sun's right overhead. That's when the shadow will be the least. And if it's summer solstice, there'll be almost no leaning shadow because it'll be right overhead. And then the midnight down here is, it's a full moon when at midnight it's right overhead. So,
Cool.
anyways, yeah.
Thank you, Shawn.
Sure.
So do you have any burning questions, Shawn?
Are you going to do another guided meditation that I love at least?
We could.
Are we going to
We
close
could.
out, or where are we at?
We will round it out. Let's see.
Stop sharing.
Let's see. Oh, and so then with Halloween.
Yes. Oh, Mars coming up. It's going to go retrograde for real. It's been in the shadow. It's a long thing. It's like 8 months. It's an extra long one. And and I think, what is it? I don't have it all up. There's other things that are coming in. And the 27th, if you haven't been, did I freeze? If you haven't been inspired yet, I don't know if you missed that. I was talking about Jupiter and Pisces. If you haven't been inspired yet, the 27th, it's going to go into Pisces and you'll get more, it's going back into Pisces. You'll get more inspiration or designing
Ooh.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It did glitch out and I did not hear that on my end. I'm not sure if the other
Oh,
listeners
yeah.
heard. But so Jupiter is going back
Jupiter's,
to Pisces?
yeah, it's retrograde and it went into Aries a little bit and now it's going back into Pisces. And Pisces is more aesthetics and art and beauty and combining and seeing a big picture of kind of connecting with everything. So if you're stuck on your Halloween costume by the 27th, it'll shift and you'll start to get more ideas flowing in because Jupiter, like in Pisces, I have that. It's like, yeah, we can think about anything. It's awesome. So,
Okay. Thanks for repeating that. It actually did start to glitch
yeah, my
again.
bad. I've got
But
to. I'll work on
it
my signal. That's more of our R&D.
well, hey, you had an earthquake there this morning, so there's a pass.
Yeah, it's amazing we're alive. No, it wasn't that bad. It was a 5. Fives, you could feel them, but they're usually not too damaging. So,
Right. Just depends.
yeah.
So, yes, so thank you for that heads up again about Jupiter. That's good because is a nice time. And so pay attention to dreams too,
Yes.
people, because sometimes this stuff will come in dream state,
Yes.
or dreams may be more
Yeah.
um you may remember them more, or they may be richer
Right.
in content. For some
Yeah.
people, they may lucid dream more.
Yeah. And doing art, maybe you do
Hmm.
crafts for the coming holidays to sell or gift or whatever.
Yeah,
Paint, you're thinking of painting your house, even though it's winter, if it's not, if you can deal with the weather, or if you're painting inside, it's like, it's more flowing
right.
that way. Jupiter's in Pisces is very pious. It's connected to everything.
Yeah, there's lots of creation that needs to happen
Right.
for so many people because um, we work with our hands, right? Whether it's writing, whether it's painting, whether it's clay, whether it is baking,
Right.
gardening. These are all things we do with our hands.
Yeah. And then
And
Mars is in Gemini, and
good.
that's again the hands. That's air, more communication, but still you can be Italian and talk with your hands or whatever. But
Question.
yeah. And then don't be too frustrated with the Mars retrograde because it's a retrograde, it's revisiting stuff. And when stuff comes up that's familiar, maybe work on it again or see, take knowledge from that to what you're applying and working on.
Right. So retrograde is for reworking.
Yeah. I'll give you
I,
any
I know
RE word.
any of the REs, but
Yeah, reworking is good. Yeah, yeah. And
reworking's good because you
it's
if
Mars. Yeah.
yeah, and if you're feeling like the energy might be oppressive, I guess is the word, not oppressive or hard. If it's just feeling hard, just pause and say, oh, that's right. Okay. It's
Right.
this retrograde. That means I can rework it. Because if we consciously choose to rework what's going on, it's almost like taking the energy and putting it to work for us instead of being beat up by it.
Right. That's always my advice is, observe others, learn, but be proactive. There's stuff on your life. Try to do something, even if it's just writing it down or taking time to think about a possible plan or something. Instead of, if you push it away, it's danger, It's like anything, take care of it as best you can, prioritize lists because you all have so much to do. But yeah, do what
It
you
comes
can.
back.
Yeah, and just acknowledge it in some way that you can acknowledge it, even if it's just thinking about it for 5 minutes. We were talking about timing and that style of block timing, or I was talking to someone else, but it's like designate a certain time of day and focus on things that need tending that are sprouting their ugly heads or their happy heads, whatever.
Right? And then you can always grab a piece of paper and a pen or pencil and do a quick little doodle about it, or write
Yeah,
words down that are coming in,
yeah,
and feel welcome to just either
yeah.
crumple it up or just rip it up.
Yeah, like we said,
It's like, just
yeah.
rip it. It's
I mean,
okay.
yeah, literally the lesson was make a list. I love, I forgive, I release. Whatever's pissing you off, whether it's a relative or a friend or a project you're on or your health or whatever's like you don't want it that way. It's angry. Besides Valerie's breathing, yeah, crumple it up, hide it in a God box, let God take care of it, or burn it, bury it, something, whatever style works for you.
Oh my goodness. Sorry,
But
I'm
release
laughing
with
because I'm
love,
like,
yeah.
feed it to the dog. The dog ate my homework. Sorry. Bad joke. Bad joke.
Yeah,
Don't feed it to the dog. The dog doesn't need that
yeah.
energy.
Unless it's biodegradable, nutritious paper or something. I don't know. No, probably not. Don't listen to any advice. I'm just joking.
The ink. All
Yeah.
right. Oh, thank you, Shawn. So let's tune
Thank you.
in. Let's tune in a little closing
Yes.
energy. So as I just took that breath, so if you haven't had a breath, take a deep breath with me. And just a gentle release. You can let your voice come in if your voice wants to come in, or just breathe. And as you feel the breath in your body, feel it moving as in and then releasing that breath. Feel the breath exiting. Breathing in again. Just a calm, gentle breath in. And as you feel the breath fill your body, feel the pulsing of your blood circulating. And then releasing the breath. Breathing in again. Just let any thoughts go. They can be there. You don't have to pay attention to them. They'll still be there. Just breathe and just pay attention to that breath. Breathing into your heart, into your body, and releasing. As we breathe again, reconnecting now, we open to our soul and our soul's energy. And we breathe in now this higher energy from our soul. Again, just letting it fill, let the breath fill your body. And pay attention and feel the breath as it fills you. All the way to the fingers and toes. And then exhale and release. And you breathe at your own pace. If I'm too quick, it's okay to take a breath, release the breath, and take another. Just breathing at what is comfortable for you. Breathing again, more of the soul energy. Connecting with the light. and love from our soul, from higher dimensions. Breathing this energy in, filling your body, and releasing. Well, with this one, just really let that breath go. We're going to do another deep breath like this last one, breathing in the soul, our soul connection, and the higher light and love from the higher dimension. And we're just breathing in now and just holding that energy while we continue to breathe gently, allowing this light and love to move deeply into every cell, every atom, and every molecule of our being. And just focusing in your heart center, allowing your heart to be open. You're opening to your soul, your higher connection there. And have the intention now, I am open to receiving whatever gift there is here for me that you have. This is to your soul. Your soul can bring you a gift. This, for some people that may be visual or auditory, they may have a sense of something. For many of us, just continue to breathe and just hold your heart open, and can even turn your palms upward if you want, just to be open to receive. Your soul is bringing you something to help you now at this point in your journey. And as you take your next few breaths, just allowing this to really be present in you, in your body now. Bring your palms together over your heart center. Place them on your body over your heart. And as you breathe again into your heart center, and your hands are there, just know this is a deeper bringing of this gift into your body here in our reality in this moment, in our physical body, our emotional body, our mental body, and our spiritual body. Your palms can be left over right or right over left, whatever's comfortable. You can change them too. You can even separate them, cover more of your chest if you want. And in sending Reiki now to everyone listening who wishes to receive the energy. And if there's somebody who didn't want Reiki, just be open to love. I'm sending love. This energy is coming in to nurture us and support us. As anywhere we have a new beginning, anywhere we're continuing to grow, to serve, to find our way. Know that we are all connected. Our hearts are connected. And for each of us, we are connected to our soul. Our soul is always there, our spiritual team. It's a great big family of love and light. So now bring the hands down to your lower abdomen. Just slide them down so they're down over the lower abdomen, under your belly button, navel. Take a breath again, breathing into the lower abdomen, bringing this energy down. Coming down to sacral and root. And as we breathe the next breath, send the energy down through your feet. Bringing it in, grounding all the way through the hands and all the way through the feet. And now you can relax and let all the images go. If you are still holding images, returning your breath to normal. Now we'll bring the hands together folded at the heart in a namaste or prayer position. And just say thank you to our soul. Thank you to our guides, our spiritual team. Thank you to any higher beings here. And thank you to everyone here with us on the call live or listening in a replay. We were so happy you spent this time with us tonight. Shawn, thank you.
Thank you, Valerie.
Yes. It's exciting as we wrap another night. Happy October. And we will be here again. Oh, and your hands can stay in prayer position, or you can just gently release and wiggle, wiggle. Especially if you're actually listening to a replay and it's daytime, wiggle those hands, wiggle those feet so you can bring yourself back. If it's nighttime, just feel welcome to stay in that space so you can disconnect and go to a relaxing sleep. We are here the last Tuesday of each month at 8 p.m. Pacific time, and the third Friday of each month at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Again, thank you for being with us. Hearts are all connected. Share your love and share your light. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Thanks for coming.